everybody, my name is Luna and I have no friends. That sounds sad. I've come to terms with it, but I just haven't been able to talk for a while. I have my work stuff, of course, but I don't know. So I'm here, we're gonna be talking. I got food from Cat Creek Burger Company. And I don't know. We'll see if it's any good. Do you guys know Pearl? Oh my god, they gave me so many ketchups. They gave me 9 ketchups for one friend. Let's see if it's any good. It's my first time eating it. Ow. Oh, you see that one had flavor. They're alright. You know my favorite fries? Whataburger. Jack in the Box curly fries. I guess that's it. I thought my list would be longer. I got the Big Hat, which has 2 patties, no cheese. Oh, let me go add my cheese. I don't think it'll melt. But I'm so picky with my cheese. It's because I don't really like cheese, and so it has to be cheese that actually... I'm so glad I looked at this. There's a spot of mold. Okay, that's going in the trash. No cheese for me. But I took off the pickles, I took off the... Okay, I was like, they didn't add grilled tomatoes, but they did. This was $12. I waited in line for like 10 minutes. So I just accidentally stuffed it with ketchup. I just dropped all my lettuce. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. I like it. Now my top 3 fast food burgers. Jack in the Box Butter Jack. I love those. I love those. I would eat those every day if I could, but not really, because they make me full. Whataburger. The Swiss mush the Swiss mush, the Swiss, yeah, I guess mush, because mushrooms. Swiss mushroom patty melt. I guess that's also all I got. I haven't eaten fast food in such... Ooh! Popeye's chicken sandwich. As I was saying, I have not eaten fast food in such a long time. Not in like a braggy way, but just like every time I crave it, I just wait and I wait and I wait until I don't have the craving anymore. Or if I do, if it's been like a week and I still have the craving, like, okay, I'll go. But the Jack in the Box that I would go to closed down. So I was like there. Because on maps it doesn't say that it's closed. And I pulled up and it was like the sign was torn down, so that was my first kind of like, what's going on here? But I was like, oh, maybe like a storm and they're just too cheap to like replace it, because everyone knows it's Jack in the Box. No. gutted. And then there's another Jack in the Box nearby, but I don't know, this is my apple juice from this morning. Is this so good? They are so bad. I've gone twice. First was like me just wanting to go, and then the second time I was like, let's see if that was just like a one-time thing or it's how it always happens. My food was cold. Like, cold. Like if I pulled it straight out of the fridge. Well, no. If I pulled it straight out of the fridge, I left it there for like a couple minutes to like my cheese was not melted. My taco cheese was not melted. My burger cheese was not melted. My fries were cold. My burger was cold. And it was very disappointing. Ooh, just pulled up the United States Postal Service. Oh! Five Guys. Also my top burger and fries. Oh, they're just so good. I was gonna get a milkshake with this, but I forgot. I love dipping fries in milkshakes. I think Whataburger is the best. I mean, that's the only place I've done it. Because Whataburger, I have a long history with Whataburger. Oh wait, Jack in the Box too. Wait, when I said I had a long history, I meant to say that about Jack in the Box. Who's outside? But I have stomach problems that I've had since I was like 5. I still have them, or they recently flared up again. But I was also eating like poo-poo these past couple days, so maybe that's why. But my doctor of memory, when I had my first like tellings of my stomach problem, because I had to get like surgery for it, like it was like a serious thing, he told me to go and eat a whole Jack in the Box shake. And fun fact, if a restaurant specifically calls their stuff milkshakes, that means there's like actual like milk and ice cream in there. It's like, you know how Wendy's calls it like a Frosty? I think that's if I remember correctly. So Whataburger and Jack in the Box, I think, are the only ones that can claim. But yeah, if I ever want a milkshake, it's like I said, like, I think I've done that like once in my adult life. Whataburger. Because their fries are so tiny. They're like so good for like stuffing a whole bunch of them in your mouth. Okay, I made sure to not put my aircon on. I know, I suffered, so then these wouldn't, but they're already like cold. It's been 8 minutes. And then the dry one. I got a new tattoo. It is I shouldn't touch it because it's like fresh. A sheep and a wolf, and the wolf's like eating it, like, you know the saying, like a sheep and wolf's skin, or what is it? That's not even the saying. But the wolf is like cut open, like it's like a stuffy. Well, that's how I interpret it. I don't know if it's blood. I interpret it as like melting. I keep putting my burger down in my ketchup. But yeah, that's my most recent one. I need to do a tattoo tour soon, because I was at Lowe's and I was shopping for cactus plants because I needed some joy in my life, and I was like, well, I have enough house plants. Let me do something to brighten up like the outdoors. And I was there like doing my thing. This one guy, I think so. I have a lot of plants, but they're all relatively easy to care for, so my knowledge isn't like too big. I have a couple coworkers who, I almost said coworkers at work, who are also into plants, and so I have different work plants there that were like a part of the office, and then I took them into my office, so they became my babies. So I get some knowledge from there too. They need to put way more grilled onions. One time I got the patty melt, and I'm not even kidding, all of the onions were in one corner. Like, whoever did it did not take the time to spread them out. Like I'm not even joking you. Like I took a bite and I was like, oh my god, and I opened it up, they're all right there. What's the thing? Oh yeah, those. And so I've had a few cacti before. Cacti / succulents, and they died because I watered them too much. But even then, I like rarely water them because I know they're succulents. And so I also know that you're not supposed to get a pot too big. It's supposed to be about like 2 inches bigger than what it previously was. And so I was combining 3 plants into one. And it was really, really deep. So I wanted to fill the bottom with rocks to not only help with drainage, because if all of that was filled with soil. Because recently another one of my plants started growing mold because, or root rot, whatever, because it was just wet. So I was looking for rocks, and in Lowe's they had, I guess, I don't know what they're classified. They're like decorative rocks, and so it was a jar maybe like this for like $8, and I was like, okay, I know this is Lowe's. Like, I'm looking for like big like rocks, and as I was there like still looking at this front, a guy, not one of the guys, he asked me, and I was like, oh, I'm like barely starting, like I have no idea what I'm doing either. And he's like, oh, I saw you, so I was thinking maybe that was like a trick, because I'm also starting. But yeah. And then I went to the back and I found like the big old river rocks. And they said they were like $3, but then when I paid, I calculated it'd be like $40 and it came out to like 60. But did I just eat a hair? No, good. So anyway, one of the coworkers, I went back. Not coworkers, I can't talk. One of the workers, I was looking for cactus oil because I knew I had some, but not enough. And so I was kind of like looking around in that same area where the river rocks were, because that's where a bunch of the soil was. And he was like, hi, do you need any help? And I was like, oh, no thanks. And as I like looked up to look at him, in the background I saw the soil that I was looking for. I was like, oh no, I just found it. So then I went to the checkout. There's a girlie there. She was like, he was like, that guy thinks you're cute. And I was like, the old man that I was talking to about the river rocks? And she's like, no, my coworker. And then, well, I don't want to expose her. Because what if by some off chance basically she told me that the guy wasn't my type. And I was like, yeah, just tell him that I declined giving him my number, because either way I would have declined giving him my number. But he referred to me as the tattoo girl. Yep. But no, I got 3 more scheduled. I got some blueberries I'm gonna put right here, and then a flower thing I'm gonna put not on my knee, but kind of around my knee, but like above my knee, around my knee, and then kind of a bouquet of flowers. But I was talking to this tattoo artist about like elbows and knees, and because she was so light-handed when I got my elephant, this here hurt so bad. But when I got this stick and poke, it didn't hurt at all. So I had an idea to get stick and poke here in that really pain area, and it didn't hurt. So I was talking to her about that and how my burger's falling apart. And it was very relieving to also see that like a tattoo artist covered in tattoos had her elbows blank, had her knees blank. It also had like this spot blank right here, like the ouchie part. And I don't know, because I told them pain is temporary, swag is forever. But I can be like that up here, but if my body like taps out, and then people screaming. I don't know. We'll see, because I still got a lot of real estate, as I say. I don't know if they say that. My onions keep falling out. I don't think I like how tiny they are. They're like tiny, like smaller than a fingernail. Oh my god. I was gonna go to the museum today, but now I mentioned my tummy ache. My tummy started hurting this morning and I had to go potty. Now, there's two reasons that might have happened. One, because for the longest time, no, let me back up. One, recently at work, I've been eating breakfast at like 11. 10, 11, 12. Whenever I take my break, I'm 15. I'll eat some yogurt and some berries. And so this was around the same time, but it was a lot more food. I hit a whole bagel plus my yogurt and berries. But I see it just falling out. No. No. I'll pick that up later. I ate pasta the past couple days. I ate popcorn for like 3 days because I had leftovers from the movie. I went to go see Joker. Oh my gosh, I'll talk about that in just a second. They're flying. They're flying now. My onions are flying. Okay, calm down about the onions because it's not even funny. My dog's watching. I forgot what I was saying. Tattoos, knees, burgers, onions. I lost it. But anyway, speaking of movies. Oh, but I was eating. So I ate popcorn a couple days. I haven't had anything like tea or coffee. I also kind of, I don't know if binged is the correct word, but you know those Hawaiian rolls? I ate the whole pack in like 2 days. So I've just like not been eating right. And then on top of that, I've been forgetting to drink water. So all of that combined can be what's been making my stomach act up again. Because I went to the doctor in like March because I was having a problem where, I don't know if I've talked about it here before. I know I was like filming a video to get it fixed, but quite literally the first doctor that I went to fixed it for me. She was like, okay, I don't really need like a journey video, like thank God. But he gave me this powder, cholesterol something. And if you Google it, it's to like help with liver stuff. This is kind of cute. The bag has more seasoning than my fries did. But when I went to go see him, like my stomach problems had been fine. But what it was is that it started when quarantine hit. So back in spring of 2020, where no matter what time my first meal was or what it was, I would have diarrhea. Yeah, it didn't matter if it was greasy egg tacos, didn't matter if it was some nice fruit, I would have diarrhea. So I kind of switched to drinking smoothies, and that helped for a while until it still happened to me. So then I can't remember if I also tried like pushing the time back. So instead of eating like in the morning, I would eat like in the afternoon, not till lunch or dinner. But I think that didn't help. And also I couldn't really like control test it, because I would wake up at all parts of the day. Like it was quarantine. Like I would stay up playing Animal Crossing, I would stay up doing internet stuff, like whatever. I'd stay up crocheting. By the way, I made 3 blankets for my siblings. My mom lost them. Like handmade, like dining room table size. Sorry, like a wide 6-person dining table. Like that's how big these were. I'm telling you, quarantine was a crazy time. Like you had nothing to do. So me acting as if you weren't in quarantine. I made 3 of those. She has no idea where they are. Because I don't give them to them right on when I finish making them. Because one, they were kids. Like I don't think they would appreciate the hours and hours I went into it. And they were like in elementary school. So there's still that kind of trouble of like, oh, is lice happening? Is not lice happening? And so, because in elementary school, like, it's a ritual. Like, everyone gets lice, which is crazy, but I can't even grab the onions. So I went in my closet until they were ready, and then they moved, and then they put it in a storage unit, and then who knows where it went. But yeah, I think I'm gonna start drinking my powder, because today I was gonna go to the museum, but I ate my bagel and my whatchamacallit, my yogurt, and I had to go to the restroom, and then it just ruined the mood. So I ended up watching Maxine, which was, it's Pearl X Maxine. I never saw them in theaters, but Pearl just went on, I think it was Netflix. I watched it like a couple weeks ago. So I watched it there. And it was good. I enjoyed it. I knew that there was a sequel. I didn't know that X was a sequel. I knew that Maxine was a sequel. And I knew that she was like a movie star. So that kind of swayed how I was viewing Pearl, because the way that they edited it, I've been doing that recently. They could just say edited. The way they edited, comma. The way they edited it. I don't know. The way I really thought that was like a spider. It was a bread. It was, I was thinking like, is because I knew Maxine was played by the same person that played Pearl. So in my head, I was thinking that kind of the whole time when I was watching Pearl is Maxine the movie star and Pearl the actor or the actress, like the character? So sorry, is Maxine the actress and Pearl the character? So I was like, is anything in Pearl real? Because the way they did the editing, they did like sometimes where like a black circle like happens, or they did like a sliding screen, which is very, very, very old-timey kind of editing. So I was thinking that. But then Pearl took place during the World War I, I think, or World War II. So I was like, well, there's no way that, and then I found out that Maxine was more like recent. So I was like, okay, there's no way that she could live like 200 years. But one, my math was wrong, and it's not 200 years. but I don't want to spoil it for you guys. I'll just give my kind of general thoughts, because then I went and I watched X. Like I said, I enjoyed Pearl. Like, it was good. It was entertaining. It was uncomfortable, but like, it's a horror movie. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. It was good acting. The story was good. It was a little bit funny because like of how ridiculous some point. Like, it was a good movie. And then I watched X, and the plot was dumb. It was dumb. And you could argue that it made sense for the characters to do what they did, but we didn't get enough of the antagonist. I don't know. I just thought it was a little bit silly and a little over the top, because then they did something and I was like, was that really like the whole kind of driving force for everything that they did? Like, they just wanted that to happen. But I don't know. I think it was very like shock factory. Like, it was not good. It wasn't good. So then I watched that, I think, like 2 days ago, because I watched Pearl and I was like, oh my gosh, like Maxine and X aren't on there. Like, I'll just have to wait forever and ever. And then it just happened that they both were put on there like a couple weeks later. I watched them on HBO. And Maxine was not good either. At least X had some kind of like, I don't know, Maxine, I was just like, really? Like, that's how we're going. And maybe I just didn't understand what they were trying to do. Like, were they trying to make it like a cheesy 80s movie? But I don't know. You can't, I think it's such a cop-out when you purposely try and make something bad. Like, come on. Come on. But I didn't enjoy it. I fell asleep during it. Like, I started falling asleep and I was like, let me take a nap. And like, I paused it and took a nap. And like, I could have paused it at any time and like not watched it and been fine with life. I don't like it. Burger is done. My new rule in life that I'm going to try and follow is to not revisit the same restaurants. Because there's this one pho place that I go to every single time. And I'm just like thinking, like, there's too many good restaurants in the world to go to the same one every single time. So I'm gonna do that now. But Joker. Two, by the way, the dewy something. Dew filet or filet something. From the internet, which I know you should. I try not to listen to them because then it really affects my way of viewing the movie. As in, like, oh, this is a bad movie, oh, this is a good movie. I heard that everyone was like, oh my god, it's a musical? It's a musical? What? Who knew it was a musical? And it makes sense that it's a musical. Like, Joker's crazy. Harley's crazy. Harley's crazy. And everything that happens, it's so very clearly in their minds. And the few times it happens, like, in person, like, it's very obvious that it's in person. And it fits. It fits with the characters. It fits with the story. Like, everything that happens in the, like, musical dream sequence kind of thing, it all fits. The ending, as soon as he was like, yeah, I'll make it, end of sentence stuff, I was like, oh, he's about to, but I was like, okay, did that just happen? And I was like, is that guy the guy? I don't know. But then I also heard, back to people saying that like they purposely make it bad, I heard some people saying that the director hated having to make a second Joker because he was forced to do that because it was so popular, that he purposely made it bad by making it a musical. Where did that even come from? Where did that information come from? That source information come from? I don't know. But I don't know if I really liked it. You know, it's a really good movie that I just saw. I just named 3 meh movies. The Substance. You gotta go watch The Substance. It is everything that, I'll just say everything that Barbie wishes it was. But Barbie, oh my god, I imagine being the director and doing like such basic level like feminist movement stuff. Like Barbie getting, when she goes into regular world and gets ogled by all the men there. Like that was so like surface level of like what women have to deal with. And I was watching Kenny, a YouTuber, Kenny JD is I think what she is. She's one who has like home skillet biscuits, like that's her tagline. Was talking about Love is Blind, and she does like a summary of each of them. And she said that one of the people on there finally realized, I can't remember what it was, but like feminism was such a new concept to her because she learned it through Barbie. And I was like, no way, no way, no way. But The Substance is not a feminist movie like Barbie was. Go over there. Over there. Go over there. There's no food for you. Go play with your toys. Enu. Go over there. Go over there. I have to point. I always forget I have to point. And she's just gonna stare at me for the next 3 hours. Until I move from the spot. Because she knows that I dropped an onion and I gotta pick up the onion. What was I saying? The Substance is good. There's so many layers. There's so many different ways that you can interpret the two characters. And it was beautiful. Towards the end, when you know what happens, or rather you know who happens, there's people that started like laughing at that. And when let me not be too spoilery, when she straightens her hair, people were like laughing at the whole scene, and I was kind of like, this is so sad, like for the movie, like this is so sad what's happening, what she's doing, like what she feels like she needs to do. And it wasn't just like one person laughing, like it was people like all around me laughing. I was kind of like, are we watching the same thing? Have we watched the past 2 hours together? Like, what the heck? This is ketchup that I got from another restaurant that I've had here. And this is from this restaurant, and they look different. Oh, this is simply ketchup. This is simply ketchup because it has no artificial sweeteners. Huh? Tomato concentrate made for red ripe tomatoes. Ripe tomatoes. Tomato concentrate from red ripe tomatoes. Distilled vinegar, sugar, salt, onion powder. Distilled vinegar, high fructose corn syrup. Corn syrup. Ah, did you guys know that there was corn syrup and high fructose corn syrup in these Heinz packets, but there's none in this one, the Simply one? It just has regular sugar. Why would they do that? I bet you if you poured both of them, I'm not gonna do it because I'm just gonna dip my finger straight into ketchup. By the way, Burger Creek Company had their own sauces, and this was my first time ordering there, so I didn't know the menu or the prices, so I looked up their menu online, and it gave me the option to choose a couple of sauces to go with the fries and to put on the burger. And I was like, well, I don't know what either of these taste like, so let me just try it. It was like happy sauce, yum yum sauce, and then some other sauce, fry sauce. And so when I ordered at the counter, I had like selected a couple to try out, but then she didn't ask me to choose one. So I was like, okay, whatever. And then I saw like at the condiment station there's them, and I tried all of them. They're all bad, so I'm really glad I didn't get it. One was like mustardy. One was, I don't know. You know what I think is a really, really, really good sauce combo? Mayo and ketchup. They are meant to be together. But yes, another big gripe that I have, and I don't understand why it happens. I understand why it's happening from like a capitalist money standpoint, but then also I don't really. So the substance came out September 20th. It is September 19th. I went and I saw this movie, I think maybe 2 weeks into it, maybe 1.5 week into it being out. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to go see that again. Tell me why for the past, because movies are expensive. So I want to either go see it on matinee on the weekends or $5 Tuesdays, which are now $6, by the way. So there has only been like 2 showings per day for the past like 2 weeks, like per theater. And is it to put it, I know the substance specifically has a deal with Mubi, M-U-B-I, and I think that's a streaming service. But there's another movie that I wanted to see a while ago. And by a while ago, I mean like months ago. I can't remember what movie it was. Drive Away Dolls, which coincidentally also has Margaret Qualley in it. But again, like they were out of the theaters in like less than a month. And so is it to put it on streaming faster? But you're still making money with it being in the box office. And people are already paying for like all these streaming sites. So if you put it on a streaming site that someone already has, like you're not making any more money, unless I don't know how that works. But if you're gonna go see it in theaters, like you're buying the ticket, you're buying the popcorn, you're buying all that stuff. If you're watching on streaming, you're just clicking on the streaming website that you already have. Like I said, unless I don't know how that works. And then it got me a little upset because I thought that was for every movie now, because I don't really go to the movies because it needs to be a good movie for me to want to go see it. Deadpool and Wolverine, that was in the theaters for a couple of months, and there was still like 10 showings a day, like kind of all throughout. And the same thing with that Blake Lively movie. And so I'm like, it's not every movie. Are they movies that they have lesser known stars in? Movies that they think they're gonna do less money? Are they movies that they think that there's not already a following for? So like Deadpool and Wolverine has all the Marvel people backing it up. But then like with Blake Lively, it's like, how many fans does Blake Lively have? And I've only heard negative things about that movie. The movie itself, the actors, or rather actress. And just thought it was a very, but then you know what I think is, I still don't know how to fully process it. When I see people love movies that I know they have innately a bad thing to them, let me back up. So, I can't remember the name of it. It Has to Be Love, or It Has to Be Done, whatever. The Blake Lively one, the one that's a book adaptation. It's about domestic violence. And the way that it concludes, spoilers, this is only from what I've seen, like little clips of, so I'm not sure what the whole story is. Like I said, spoilers. That she has the baby of her abusive husband. I think that's what it is. And at the end of the movie, when she's like, she and the husband are there in the hospital bed, like with the baby, he's kind of like asking her to stay with him or something, and she's like, no, like I'm not going to. Imagine if she was me. Imagine if she told you that her husband beat her, her husband, blah, blah, blah. Which essentially she was saying like what he did to her. Imagine that with her. And so many people who experience domestic violence, or me thinking of people I've seen experience that in real life, everyone is like, what are you talking about? Like, this would never happen. Like, he would never just let her go. she would never let him hold her newborn baby. Like, and then it's making me think, like, how many other parts of this movie are so unrealistic? And then I see some people posting about, like, people that I personally know, about how great a movie it was, how it did the book justice, how it was beautiful. And I know that those people specifically have some things that I think they need to internally work out. And I don't know, it just makes you think, because it's so clear to the people who have not, or maybe not have, gone through something like that, or even have, to point out how fictional, I mean, it's a whole fictional story, but how fictional all those circumstances having is. And then me personally knowing people that I suspect, or I've seen what they go through, praise that for being such a good movie. And this is very interesting because, like, until you are completely out of it, until you've healed, until you've gone through all that work, like, whether you want to admit that it was a problem. Anyway, it's this whole big kind of thing. But they need to keep movies in the movie theater for longer. Because then it also makes me think, like, are movie theaters eventually going to become, like, extinct? Because like, we're already seeing it, like, Blu-rays. Like, everything's on streaming. Are movie theaters the next to go? Because, and then it's a whole cheaper thing. Like, what, shouldn't they have movies that the target, like, it's not a family movie, be in theaters longer? Because if you're to take, it's a family movie, and you're to take your entire 5-person family to the movies, that's going to be a lot more expensive. And you're probably only going to go once. But if it's an adult movie like The Substance, where you're not going to take your little kid, it'll probably be you and a friend, you and a partner, you and a sibling. You can go and see that. Like, it's less money. And you don't have to worry about the kids. And I don't know, it just makes me sad. Keep movies in movie theaters, and keep movie theaters theatering. I was going to talk about something else, but I forgot. You know what I got from work? Oh my goodness, work has been crazy recently. I don't even know if I want to get into it. But it's been crazy. I got this. Oh my god, our door thing broke. This is a Cabernet Sauvignon from California 2022. So it's been aged 2 years. I think that's how it goes. But I tried opening it to try it. And then I realized I don't have a corkscrew. Which is funny because my friend just posted about this on Instagram, how she went to go and get a wine from Trader Joe's. And then she came home and realized she didn't have a corkscrew. And that didn't even cross my mind when I got this. But isn't that so, I mean, I just ripped it, but isn't that so cool? I have tasted, I do not like, and I will not eat or drink things that I don't like. You might be like, well, duh. Well, no. People drink alcohol, some types of people drink alcohol just for the, like, drunk effects, even though they hate it. I'm not gonna do that. I don't like the taste of coffee. And even though I would benefit from being more awake, staying up longer, whatever, I'm not gonna drink it because I don't like how it tastes. And I think bitter is my least favorite flavor palette taste ever. I don't know. And it's not that I even, like, am a high fructose corn syrup junkie. Like, I have those, what are they called? Those, like, Quaker Oats, the circles. They're, like, really crunchy and they're like Rice Krispies, but, like, really healthy. Like, those are sweet to me. And so, I don't know. Let's talk about social norms. Creek Burger Company, they had a sign there, one of the decor, where it said, beer for dad, wine for mom, playground for the kids, let's have fun. And I thought that, like, that's so kind of implied with social norms, like beers for the guys and for drinking at sports games and drinking at movie theaters, which I think is crazy. Like, you're here to watch a movie and you have to, like, shouldn't you experience it sober to like fully understand everything, fully experience it? But anyway, each to their own, as they say. What was I saying? Oh yeah, beer's like a man's drink, and beer's the and wine's for moms who are wine mom, had a hard day at work, the cursive letters, like the signage. And then there's all the other alcohols that are more for like partying or whatever. And I just thought that was so like weird, seeing it at a place specifically for kids. So then that teaches all these kids who are coming here that that's normal. Which, I don't know, my family has a sober approach to alcohol because of events that I'm not going to get into. And so we've kind of all been like, there's never alcohol, well, at my dad's, there's never alcohol in the house. And so I've never had the interest of drinking alcohol, because my kind of mindset has been like, I'm gonna be me. Like, I don't need to drink this. Like I said, to each their own. But it's not for me. And then on top of that, they all taste disgusting. So, well, I've never had beer. But I think it tastes gross. From how it smells, I think it tastes gross. And then also, like, I don't want to participate in that because, one, the brain cells, and then two, like, it just tastes gross. And then being a part of that kind of... But I've had wine before. I went to the Renaissance Fair with my uncle and his family, and there's a wine tasting. And they go to it every year, but this was my first time, one, drinking wine, and two, specifically tasting wine. So I'm not gonna explain wine tasting. It's where they give you a little sample of each one, and then you smell it, like you swish it around, like you do the whole like actually experiencing it for the flavors. And then he would talk to us about like the notes of it, like this was chocolate, this was a little bit of fig tree or whatever. And we tried 2 white wines and 2 red wines. One of the white wines was sparkling, which immediately threw me off, and I for sure would never taste that again, any sparkling wine, just because it's sparkling. Like, sparkling stuff is for soda. It was just very weird to drink sparkling wine. The white wine, I think, and then also, I think all of those wines were dry, which I think means not sweet. And this one, Cabernet Sauvignon, is also not sweet, as far as I know. It said it would pair well with beef and stuff, which is why I got a burger, but then I forgot to open it. I mean, I didn't forget to. I wanted to experience the burger, because this is my first time trying the burger. But I tried I like the red wines, the 2 red wines, more than I like the 1 white wine. So I have hope for this. But let me get my glass. Which is from the Renaissance Fair. Isn't this so cool? It has like the little Puss in Boots, because that was like the thing of like the tavern. But these are the ones that we wine tasted in. So they gave us, I think, like this much, and then you like swish it around, which is why all the wine goblets have a very tall thing, so you can swish it and activate the flavors, and then you drink it and you swish it around for like 6 seconds to get all the flavors, and then you swallow it. And then, so I tasted them and then I drank, like I took a sip. This needs to be opened. I have never used one of these, but really, how hard can it be? I think you put this in here and then you twist it. Oh, wait, I think that's exactly what you do. I don't think it's deep enough. You know what I started watching today? Chernobyl. And, oh, these little things are coming up on their own. Do I take them? And also, there's no instructions on this. How do I, well, like it's fully in there. Like the screw is fully in there. Oh wait, don't you do this? I don't want to break it. I don't want that to go flying. Oh, oh, oh. Wow, I'm so smart. Okay, well now what? Well, it's like out, but not fully. Do I do this again? No. Do I do this? It's like tearing up the cork though. Okay, well I brought these back up again. Oh my gosh. It's like so far in, like that's not even funny. Hey! Cheers, cheers! Oh, I don't think I'm gonna like this. How the heck do I put this back in there? Especially because as I saw it was like this up here was much smaller. So I think it expanded down there. Future Luna's problem. Future wine Luna's problem. So here it is. Let me smell it. Isn't it so weird how kind of everything I'm talking about right now is what I heard in a podcast earlier today. Podcasts are so cool. I started listening to this one called Freakonomics, and the one today, okay, I'm actually a little embarrassed to say this, was about cannabis versus alcohol and how cannabis is kind of like rapidly replacing alcohol usage. And then it's funny, the reason I was like, I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, is because it specifically talked about how alcohol is bad. And that's fine. Oh, thumbnail pose time. Oh, I don't have my burger. Pretend I had a burger. Just kidding. Anyway, oh yeah, and they talked in there with the author of this book that I was like, oh my gosh, I had to read that for school. The History of the World in 5 glasses, or 5 drinks, whatever, which is wine, beer, tea, coffee, and I always forget the last one. But isn't it so crazy that like wine was first discovered by like letting, I think, don't quote me, by like something going bad, like fruit going bad, and then it fermented. And wine, I think from all the alcohols, at least from my outsider knowledge, is that wine is the one that's most like flavor based. Kind of all the other ones are to just get you drunk, but wine is one that really takes in the flavor. And I think that's so interesting. It smells not too strongly of alcohol, like the grape and the alcohol. The grape's about like 60 and then the alcohol's about 40. Yeah, Because the ones, I don't know if it has, oh man, I spilled some. I don't know if it has anything to do with the alcohol percentage. I think all wines are around the same, right? But the ones at the Renaissance Fair had a lot stronger smell. But I don't know if that was more grapey smell or more alcohol smell. But they definitely smelled more. So, let's try this. Should I do the proper wine tasting way? I should, because it's my first time doing this. So you get your thing, right? You swish it around to activate it. Should I have no onion in my teeth or anything? And then you drink it. Oh, that tasted kind of metally at the end. Can I help you, Missy? What's your choice? Your choice. Oh, one thing wine made me feel very warm. Like the inside of my body was very warm. And right now, this is very warm too. And I don't know if that experience is something you get with all alcohol or wine or what. I can't tell if I like that or not, because also I had 20 other things eaten before that, tomatoes and onions and blah blah. So let's try it again, but just like a regular sip. My alarm went off to take out my doggy. That's why she was bothering me right now. I don't know if I mean, I don't think I'll ever, or rather, I'm not ever going to just drink wine by itself. This is different, okay? I was supposed to drink it with my food. Oh yeah, I didn't finish my thought. Because I wouldn't drink it just by itself because I don't like how it tastes. And so I also kind of realized that wine, because wine flavors, wait, what? Because wine focuses a lot more on the flavors. There's some kids outside. That pairing it with food is, and just like a tasting thing, like not to get drunk, like just to actually taste the flavors of the wine paired with the flavors of the food. Like in that ratatouille where he eats the mozzarella and then he eats the strawberry and there's like the swirls going around him. I want to experience that, but is all wine gonna taste like this? Because I don't think I like this, because it's bitter. I like this more than the other wines that I've tasted, the other 3 wines that I've tasted, 4 wines, because the alcohol taste isn't at the forefront. Does this say anyone here? Alcohol 13.7 by volume. Dang, you know what it doesn't have on here? A serving size. Isn't that crazy? It says Blakemore Cabernet Sauvignon. Blakemore products quality wines that please the palate and awaken the senses, delivering a flavorful and rich wine experience. Alcohol 13.7 by volume. Vented and bottled by Blakemore Napa, blah, blah, blah. And then government warning, don't drink while pregnant. Dang. I thought everything kind of needed to have a serving size. How the heck do I get this off? Do I just twist it the other way? That's exactly what you do. Oh my god. So I just needed to go in like maybe half an inch, just so it's like sealed. Should I have left it on that? Like, you see, it's like bigger. Like, it's no, I mean, I guess it's to create the seal, but like that's never gonna fit in there. Owie. What if I try the other side? The side that's been exposed to all the elements. Oh wait. That actually worked. I'm a genius. Oh. What else? Should I talk a little bit about work? No. I want a cat. I want a cat so bad. I want a dog and a cat. I already have a dog. I want a cat. But a cat is not something my roommate would want. And I think because I still like go home for Christmas. I mean, I could probably take my dog. She is banned from my dad's house because we didn't introduce her properly to my family dogs, and then she did not submit to the alpha. There's two. She didn't submit, and so she also has a resource food guarding problem, and she attacked the alpha one too many times, so she's now banned. And I don't know. Last year, my uncle was kind enough to look over her while I went back home. But I don't want to assume that's going to be the norm because, one, I don't want to make plans around something that's not confirmed. And then I don't want to assume because if they're going to go somewhere for Christmas, if they just don't want to, like, I'm not going to do that. So I was going to have to rent a hotel, a pet-friendly hotel, or maybe keep her in a kennel, like in a closed room or something. But I don't know, it's just making that trip and then having to integrate her with the family pets. The cat would not be something I would do right now. Because I don't know, I've only ever, and I'm not even joking, I've only ever seen horror stories about like dog boarding. And so I don't think I would ever do that unless it's someone like a family friend or family to look after my pets. Because I read this one horror story where it was a husky. The husky mysteriously died, and then they just shoved it in a bag, and when the like mom went to go pick it up, I said it. When the mom went to go pick up her dog, they're like, oh yeah, he died, sorry. And then she was like, what? She's like, can I see him? And then they like brought out like a black vacuum sealed like freezer bag or something like that. Ugh. And then also I can't fly home because of her, because she's a medium-sized dog. She's a small medium-sized dog, but she's too big to fit with me. And I would also not feel comfortable putting her in the underneath because, one, she's scared of loud noises. Two, I would not do that to her, leave her alone like that. Three, luggage gets lost. I'm not about to let my dog get lost. Four, those airline people, I can assure you they don't get paid enough to care about stuff. So I would also not do that to her. So I don't think at this moment I can tack on another pet to that whole experience because as much as I want to. You know what I really want? I want fish. I've always wanted fish since we went to a family, my dad's friend, which then became a family friend. And they had this big fish tank, maybe the size of this dining table. This is 4 people. In his living room. And I would always, like, that'd be like one of the first things that I would look when you were going in, because his daughter would babysit us. But also, I think I'm done moving for a while. I don't know. I mean, at least until my lease is up. I don't know what our roommate's plans are, but we kind of went into this thinking minimum 2 years, because both of us planned to go to grad school. Straight out of college. Neither of us did. So that's where those 2 to 3 years came from. But I think I need to reevaluate with him. Because another thing about where I live is that luckily it's never happened to us in this apartment. They've been really good with it. But if the power goes out, like, how am I going to take care of my fishies? Like, they need that temperature regulated. They need that filter. And it's one thing for me to, like, just buy a bunch of water bottles for me and my dog. It's another thing for me to take care of my fish. Oh my goodness, one of my ex-coworkers, I say ex because he left, he lived in a trailer. He had like his own trailer, and the power went out, and it was out for like 3 or 4 days. And I don't know, he had a very positive way of saying it, but I think it was more like, what can you do? He's like, yeah, all my fish died and my fridge has been out, and I was like, oh my gosh. But I don't know, I don't think I can also, because then I would have to buy a generator. I have a little itty bitty mini generator for, I haven't bought a heater. Honestly, I bought a generator for a heater to keep me and my little Inu warm. But that means I have to then buy a separate generator to take care of my fish. Which, I mean, it wasn't expensive. It was like $100. But still. You notice how I haven't taken another drink of this? It's because I just don't like it. I don't think I like it. I'll finish this though, just so I don't waste it. Maybe. Or maybe I might throw it out. But I don't think it's sanitary to put it back in the bottle. Especially if no. I'm not 100% sure that I wouldn't share that. So I'm not going to do that. If it was just me, I also don't think I would do it, just because I ate other stuff beforehand. And so I don't know what's in here. You know what I've been thinking about a lot lately? Overwatch. It's because it's like, it's a fighting game, like a team versus team, and there's different kind of match types. It'll either be like capture the area, capture the point, or like escort the payload. And every so often, I don't know exactly, I think it's maybe like a month, 2 months, 50 days, no idea, they'll renew the season, which means that they will also renew the shop, which then releases new skins for the characters, releases new voice lines, releases new stickers, new emotes, new intros, and and recently they also did some patches. Which means that they fixed some like buggy stuff where they changed some stuff. So a bunch of characters it's called being reworked. And the characters that I would normally play, which I looked recently, and by recently I mean like months and months ago, when I refound this Overwatch 2, which, oh my god, not even gonna get into, actually I will. Overwatch 1, you had these things called loot boxes. So every level that you leveled, you get a loot box, and they would give you 4 or 5 free things. So you wouldn't have to buy the skins, you wouldn't have to buy the emotes, like you would get random ones, which of course, like the more common ones you would get more often, the rare ones you would get less often. And so that was a way that, like, I never spent real money buying any of this stuff. Overwatch 2, they got rid of those loot boxes. So now the only way to get new skins, new emotes, all of that stuff is by the free battle pass which I've only used it, or rather I didn't even use it. It was my roommate, he was playing and I was watching him, which is free up to a certain point, I think. So like if there's 50 things you can unlock, I think only 10 of them are things that you can get free. I think, don't quote me on that. So like you would never get like the super ultra mega rare skin that was level 50. And so like that's the only way you can only ever get those, which is insane. Or you could spend real money and buy those things straight from the shop, and they're not cheap. I'm not even joking when I say they're not cheap. Guess how much a like epic skin is? So for one character, so I think there's now like 30 characters or something crazy. No, even more than that, maybe like 40 now. Guess how much one skin for one character is? Real life money. Real life US dollars. Would you say 20? 40? 40 buckaroos, macaroos, dollaroos, 40. But anyway, the characters that I thought I played more often, which is funny because you can see how long you've played each character, and my top like 3, I was like, what the heck? I liked playing Sombra before her rework. Oh my gosh. So first of all, I always prefer playing the girls, even in games where they're completely different. So it's not like there's a girl version of the character and then a boy version of the character. That kind of most games have, that you can like choose if you want to be male or female. This one, it's like the character is Captain America. Like that's a character. No, that was a bad example because the character is Wolverine, and that's the character. It's not like boy Wolverine, girl Wolverine. And so not only was she a girly, she's also Mexican, and she was a hacker. And so what you could do is you could turn invisible, you could hack people, it's so much to explain if you don't know what I'm talking about. But you have your main, like just regular firing, and then you have your usually two like special things. So for Sombra, her regular thing was just shooting, and her special things were hacking, which disables other people's 2 little special things, and teleporting basically. So she would drop like a little translocator, and then you would go do whatever. If you're like about to die, like if they all flank you, if they all flank you, you would click it and you would pop back up over here. And you could also hack health. So health packets, this is getting itchy, I'm in my itchy phase. She could hack it so only like her team could use it. And they got rid of that. So now she's only invisible for 5 seconds, I think. Which is crazy because there's certain roles that each character has. So you have your tanks, which are the big ones that go in front, they guard. You have your defense, which are heavy damage. I think they used to have offense, but they changed it, so now it's just attack. And then you have your healing, your support. And so in those defense, there's some of them that are supposed to take a more offensive approach, like shooter. There's some that are like snipers, which are supposed to be more like hidey. And then there's some flankers. So like Tracer, she is her special thing is that she can, what's a good example? Like blip. So like she could be here, and then she'll click her thing and she'll be over here in like a second. So her thing is like catch me if you can. So she's supposed to flank and like lure people away from either the spot that they're supposed to be guarding or the payload that they're supposed to be escorting. And that's her role, to flank. And Sombra was also kind of supposed to be used like that because she was invisible, and then she would like get you, and then you're like, oh my god, where'd you go? And then she'd hack you and blah blah. But now, like, she's only invisible for 5 seconds. And only invisible for 5 seconds after she uses her translocator. So she has to teleport, and then that automatically makes her invisible for 5 seconds. Which I don't know. And then a lot of people were saying, and I don't know what this means because I'm not in the game anymore. You know what I just realized? I'm gonna be very upset. My alarm went off while talking, so I'm gonna stop this video and start a new one, just in case somehow it muted me. And like I said, I'm gonna be very mad if that happened. Okay. Apparently people were saying that they did this rework to purposely make her bad, so then more people would buy the Widowmaker, which is a sniper. The Widowmaker Mythic, which I really don't see how those two are correlated. Because as far as I know, the Mythic is excuse me, a character screen emote. So like when you're choosing your character, like they'll do their own little like thing. So I don't know, let's see my character. So you'd pick me and then I'd go like, right? Okay, that's really cool. That would be like my intro. And so some people are saying that they want you to buy Widowmaker's Mythic, which I think is that. And they're pushing you to do that because they made Sombra bad. Which I genuinely don't see how that's correlated because they're completely different characters. And like if I wanted to play Sombra, why would I be like, oh, I can't play her anymore, and then go buy Widowmakers? But then I've also seen, so Overwatch also has the ability where you can make your own little game. So I recently saw this one. And so there's like in-game lore too. And one of the little videos that they did, the game, like whenever they introduce a character or they want to drop some lore, like they'll make like a video, like an actual like video. A short rather. And one of them was of this robot Gandhi kind of esque guy getting assassinated. And so one of the little games that someone made is, it's called Protect the President. And so one person is playing the Gandhi character, not Gandhi character, the Zenyatta character, and then the other ones are like bodyguards. And then if you're on the opposite team, like you have to try and kill them. So I'm a bit confused as to now what's in game and what's not in game, because I saw someone pointing out people's, and I can't remember what the name was, so maybe that's what Mythic means, where it was like a special like power boost that a character got. So I can't even think of any examples because I was like, what am I watching? And I just rolled past it. So I'm thinking one of Sombra's things is that, I don't know if it's still a thing, but I know it used to be, is that she could see the outlines of people through a wall. Ow, I just like have a pimple on my head or something because I just scratched it and that really hurt. Ow. That she can see through walls if you're low damage, so she can go and like finish you off. Widowmaker, her another thing about the characters is that if you, once you play them for a certain amount of time, once you do enough damage, once enough healing, you'll power up what's called, we always call it, me and my dad and siblings, we always called it our super, but I forget what the actual term is. I think it's ultimate. So Widowmaker's ultimate, well, Sombra's ultimate, to give you kind of a understanding, because Widowmaker, in my opinion, is very lame, but it makes sense for a character, but it's lame. Sombra is that she would go and she'd release this burst, and she would hack everyone. So in that, I don't know even what the range is, 20-foot radius or whatever, like all of you would be hacked for like 10 seconds. That was like her ultimate. For Widowmaker, her ultimate, she'd click it and then you would, the whole team, I have 5%. The whole team, I have a charger here. Stand by. I'm still like reeling over that. I did not like that. Ugh. whole team would see the outlines of all the characters. And so I'm thinking those are similar. The seeing through walls and the whole team seeing everyone through walls is Widowmaker's mythic. Are mythics kind of like an ultimate? Are they something you have to buy? And is it something that Widowmaker has that would directly counter Sombra's ability to see through walls? I don't know. But I think that's a little more reasonable than the emote because those have no correlation. Or maybe a mythic something that like a power up that you have like 5 uses for, and then you have to spend real life money to buy it again. I don't know. But oh yeah, that wine thing, it came with some other stuff. Maybe I should try it. They got me olives, whole mixed olives. I don't like olives though. I got this maybe like 3 weeks ago, but I have not talked to my roommate since then. Weird, I know, he's always busy. So I haven't been able to offer them to him. These pretzels that I tried, I can't remember what the flavor was, honey mustard. They were good at first, but then I was like, okay. And I know he loves honey mustard. Oh, maybe I should, maybe I should absolutely try this stuff with this. These are Italian crackers with rosemary. And this is vino e formaggio smoked Gouda. Let me try this with this and see if it tastes a little bit better. Because at the wine tasting, they gave us grapes, they gave us cheese, and they gave us bread to like help clear the palate between. Why is this not coming out? Oh, because there's 2 to open. But I started watching Sharon. Oh, this is not what I thought it would look like. Hold on, that kind of grossed me out because I was expecting it to be cheese. But it makes sense, like a stack that you would like cut, but it makes sense because it specifically says spread. That's like cheese. Like this isn't cream cheese. That's another thing that really grosses me out when things are textures that they're not supposed to be. Like, why is my cheese a cream? Ooh, that's a very strong smell. Is that rosemary? Very bland, actually. It smells more flavorful than it actually is. I didn't even taste the cheese. Take 2. I'm gonna put the cheese side down. Okay. I wouldn't eat that on its own. So how am I supposed to eat these 2? It's supposed to be together? It's supposed to be before, after? It's supposed to be before, after? It's supposed to be before, after, before? I mean, before, during, after? You know what I need to try? I need to try a wine. Well, how would you call it in wine terminology, the opposite of dry? Well, that's what I need to try. One that isn't so bitter. I was having like this whole like vision, seeing the future of me using wine as like a whole another level to cooking and elevating my meals. And I don't like it. Never mind. I won't be doing that. But like, I don't even want to drink it. Like, why would I make myself drink something? I mean, I can do that. I'm almost done. And how do I even close up this Gouda? It's not resealable. Serving size 2 tablespoons. So this is to feed 3 people. Like 3 people should eat this whole thing. It's crazy. Well, that definitely helped mute the taste, but it was just, I got the wine taste, and then, you know what I suddenly popped in my head, I think it's because I'm watching Pro Scream. What happened with that? They made their 7th one, and then I think they kind of called it quits. I remember seeing something about the actress, not the main one, but the one that appeared in the most recent one. And I think poor Sydney, in the storyline, Sydney's the original girlie that got attacked in Scream 1. For 6 movies, she's been involved somehow. It's just like, give this poor woman a break. I don't like this. Thank you for giving me this to try it for free. But after some further consideration and tasting it, I do not like it. Man, this doesn't fit in here. Dang it. I started drawing, which is, sounds funny, but as an artiste, drawing was something that I never really liked doing because it's one of those arts specifically that you need to spend time on it for it to look good, which I know sounds crazy, but having to spend hours to see any progress on drawing was not something for me because I needed to see immediate results. And so I just did what I needed to for like my drawing figure classes and my like basic drawing classes. But other than that, like I never really practiced drawing. Like I would do it sporadically. My dad's an artist. My dad's a drawing artist. My dad's a graphic designer. So I would like sporadically draw like whenever I got like my tummy's starting to hurt. Whenever I got the inspiration, which is what happens with a lot of my stuff. Like I'll come home and I'll sit and I'll do absolutely nothing, and then I'll go on for weeks, and then I'll suddenly get inspiration to do something, and I'll do it for like 4 days straight, and then it'll fade, and then I'll do nothing, and then anyway. So drawing, hopefully it's not gonna go away, because something that helps me continue with these things, I think crochet is like one of the only ones that I've like consistently done, is buying a whole bunch of stuff so then I feel like I have to use it and have to continue, because I just spent $300 on it, like now I have to use it. And so for another YouTuber inspired me recently. She inspired me, which is funny because she inspired me twice. She inspired me last year in the summer. I watched a whole bunch of her videos and then I started drawing. And I would draw in my sketchbook every day. And I have it for like 3 weeks. Like 3 weeks, and then I got busy, or I got home late from work, or I had something to do in the morning. And so then that kind of fizzled out. And then I was like, you know what? I want to start drawing again. So I watched her videos again to help me re-inspire me, because I was like, well, she inspired me once, she can do it again. And last time, I was debating buying, so in the artist world, there are some things that are kind of known by everyone, like some supplies, and one of those are Copic markers. They are good quality alcohol markers, but they are very expensive. Like if you want a pack of like 10, I think it's like $100 or something like that. Like one marker is like $8. And so even just the basic red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, blue, which by the way, I don't think they sell it like that. They sell it in like skin tones, pastels, vivids, grays. So buying a whole like set, so where you had enough to like, this is a light green, this is a dark green, this is a teal green, this is a lime green, would be minimum like $400. But there's this other kind of, not knockoff brand, but just similar brand called Ohuhu. Ohuhu. I think that's how they pronounce it. It's starting to peel. And there's a whole set of those, which is like 130 markers for like $100. And so I was debating buying those last time because that's what she used, drawing with waffles. By the way, she's been MIA for like a year and a half because she got sick, but she very recently, and then a couple months ago, posting an update. So I was like, oh my god, good. She didn't like, because she had like a chronic illness that she needed to leave for. But she is doing well. She's just always exhausted. Anyway, she used both Copic and Ohuhu. So I was like, man, I want to draw like her. Let me get the supplies that she has. But I just could not justify spending that much on markers. I mean, on Copic markers specifically. But then Ohuhu, I was like, maybe. I had it in my cart for a bit. And then Michael's always has sales, by the way. They have like a 30% off sale. And so I got my whole set for like $100, but it should have been like 130 or something, whatever that math adds up to. And I also treated myself and bought myself some, what are they called? Posca pens, but just the basic ones. Because one thing that she does, Rin, is she'll decorate her sketchbook. She'll draw on it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do that too. So I bought some Copic markers. But yeah, I've been pretty good with drawing. I started drawing because faces, I don't know what I want to draw. In the past, like when I drew digitally, it would be like fan art stuff. And I don't know if it's because I'm older now and I've matured, which not saying that people who are older drawing fan art are not mature. It's just, that's not what I'm going to be drawing anymore. And also like I'm not involved in fandoms like that anymore. But yeah, I don't know. I was never really like, I mean, I guess like Hunter x Hunter and My Hero Academia, but I was never like someone who had like internet friends over that. So it just like fizzled out. But yeah, so that was, fan art was like my main topic of drawing. So when I stopped like watching shows like that, I stopped like my motivation for drawing, I guess. But then now I want to draw, and it's like, well, what do I draw? Because I don't know what I want to draw. I don't know if I want to be a landscaper, like drawing. There's, just like with every art ever, music, sculpture, architecture, like you start off with the blank page and somehow you have to turn that into something, and the possibilities are quite literally endless. So I was like, well, let me learn how to draw faces. And there's this challenge that Rin did, which I was like, oh my gosh, perfect. It was where she drew 100 faces, 10 a day, which I was like, okay, I'm not there yet. So I've been drawing one a day. But then when my markers came in, I was like, okay, I know I'm still not even, I haven't even like secured how to draw people. So let me draw like easier things like birds, and let me color those in to test out the artwork. So it's been pretty good. I've also been, I got this spur of motivation maybe, I don't know, last week. So now I'm gonna be doing one thing per week. So I'm only gonna be on my phone after work. Like I'll only get one day of work after work, like whether it was exhausting, whether it was tiring, to either nap or to just be on my phone. And then I got another day where I can crochet. I got another day where I can read. I got another day where I can go out. I got whatever. And so yesterday I was supposed to crochet, but I decided to draw again. And today I was supposed to oil paint, but with my tummy being the way it was, instead I watched a movie and did crochet. So I'm giving myself some wiggle room so then I can, like, if I draw for 5 days straight, then I'm not doing any of my other stuff for 5 days straight. And then it also kind of pushes me not be on my darn phone, because 2 days from now, what do I remember watching on my phone? Like, what was that TikTok, that 700th TikTok I watched, or Instagram reel? Like, let's not do anything. And so, I don't know, moving in a good direction. And I don't know, we'll see. I was drawing a eaten kind of like brown apple yesterday, and I was just like, something that popped in my head. I was like, oh my gosh, like in 5 months from now when I redraw this, like it's gonna look so much better. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm thinking like that, because that means that for 5 months, like I'm gonna consistently draw to actually see the progress. So that was good. It's because the way that the markers work, like, I don't know if it's, I just don't have enough I don't have enough experience with them yet. So I just don't know if it's because I need to find markers that are way closer to each other. So like the way that they have them labeled is like R 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and those are obviously all red shades. So I don't know if I want to do transitions. I need to do R1, and then I'll put R3 next to it, and then to blend it, I need to do R2, because the lines are so stark. You can't, like, with a pencil lightly do it and then get heavier. Like, one mark is going to be a mark whether you put all your weight on it or you lightly do it. So that's something that I'm still working on. But yeah, I've been looking over here for a while, and I just kind of want to show this off to you guys, because there's 2 things that happened here. So one, my tattoo artist Bugs, who did, I think it's here, this horsey and this little beetle. We had my other tattoo artist, Cactus Killer, which did a whole bunch of mine. She had this like swap shop donation thing, and Bugs was selling some of his art because he was he wanted to. And so I bought this cute little chicken print. Oh wait, you can't really see. This chicken print. But at work, I also needed some training on how to do some stuff. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect, because I need to learn how to cut mats. This is double matted. So there's the green mat, and then there's the yellow mat. And so I was like, okay, I'll learn how to cut those. And what perfect way than to use it on this, because I already had this frame, and I did it, and it looks so professional. It looks so cool. The only thing though is that the backing, I was like, oh, I don't need to replace the hardware because it's these two, but the way that it is just isn't working. So I need it to be more, I don't think any of these have example, but like the wire across it. But it's been so busy, I haven't been able to do that. So instead of being hung up, it's just been on my, I don't even know what to call it. My sister gave it to me. Not a bar cart, like a coffee station, which is funny because I want your coffee. But I have like all my tea stuff here. So one of my, go there. I'll deal with you in a little bit. So sorry. I'm gonna have to leave in a little bit. But you look at the time. Because remember, we're like friends talking at dinner. She bought all of us rather treats from Starbucks. And, well, I never really went to Starbucks. This is like the 10th time I'm telling you. Because I don't really like coffee. And so I would never really go. And then also just unions and all that stuff. So when she asked what I wanted, I was like, well, the last time that someone from work treated me, I got the chai latte, because there's some things that I do like. Is it covering my face? I like chai lattes, and I like Thai. I think Thai means tea. Remember that Spider-Verse where it's like Thai tea, you're saying tea. But just regular like Thai. How would you say it then? I'm sorry, Thai tea. I like those two. And so I asked for a chai latte, and it was really gross. But then again, everyone's kind of drinks were like really gross for like, okay, they're just having like a bad day. and it also made me have to go diarrhea. So we're like in the middle of like the team meeting, and I was like, excuse me guys, and I had to go. Ugh. But since then I was like, okay, well, I don't want, and that's because it wasn't even coffee. How do you mess that up? Like, how do you mess up tea? So I heard about it forever and ever, but I never had it myself. The Pinkity Drinkity by James Charles. Just kidding. The pink drink, which it's called what they call a refresher, and so which is like not a coffee or tea, just like a drink. And I got it, and it was so good. I like slurped it up, and so then after I remembered all of this dupe Starbucks drinks that are out there, and I got it, and all it is organic coconut juice, and then the ocean spray strawberry cranberry drink. You mix those together, and then you put in some freeze dried strawberries, and you got the same thing, and it's so good. But I just haven't made it. I have one coconut drink and then 1.5 ocean sprays left. But, you know, go over there, please. Thank you. There's so many good things out in the world. So many good drinks. Which is another reason why I'm like, I don't want to go to the same place every time. Like, what if I find another glorious food place that I can add? But yeah. Like I said, I think I'm going to have to get going. I'm just going to throw this. I gotta do dishes. I gotta take her out. I gotta shower. I got to clean up. But yeah, it was nice talking to you, getting all of this out. And who knows how often I'll do this, because it was funsies. And yeah, you can I don't know if you've heard, but I do some YouTube videos sometimes, and I'll give you my YouTube username. It's Totally Luna, which I planned, because whenever you're like, oh my gosh, who are you watching? It's like, and then you'd be like, it's Totally Luna. Or right now what I just said, it's Totally Luna. But yeah, it's Totally Luna. And I posted recently some Fallout videos, some review videos, I post some art stuff, I post some vloggy stuff. So yeah, it'd be cool if you were to go check it out. But I'm gonna get going, and I'll see you whenever I see you again. Bye!